Hello, I'm Chris. Welcome back to Marine Corner. Hope you're doing well and having a good week so far. This is time for something a bit different. This is going to be part one of my book tour. I'm calling it a book tour because not every book's on bookcases and stuff like that. It's not a bookshelf tour because not every book is on bookshelves. I've pulled out a box full off the first shelf because there's quite a lot at the behind that I want to do a separate video. So I'm going to do the front shelves, what's on top of if I can go over to my bookcase. So I'm trying to get to I'm rubbish at this. Alright, there we go. So the top of the bookcase, I've took off a lot of stuff, and then above the bookcase, sorry, that was awful filming then. So I've took some stuff off the top of the bookshelf, so I'm going to go through that first. So off the top of the bookshelf, I've got some cups I've been collecting over the years. So I've got this one, I Love You Daddy, with a couple of pictures of me and my son on. I've never used these cups, although they do need a clean, just because they've been on the shelf a while. Then Mum got me this one, Bookworm. I thought this was cool. I like the orange and the gold and the white. And then I've got a Dad You Rock cup. So I don't use these cups, they're just used for decoration. Dad My Hero cup. And then finally a band. This is by the Unemployed Philosophers Guild, and it's just got loads of like banned books on it, like The Catcher in the Rye, Animal Farm, Essay Concerning Human Understanding, Naked Lunch. It's got something in I think it's Chinese or Japanese. I'm not sure what that is off the top of my head. Les Miserables, Lolita, Dr. Zhivago, Uncle Tom's Cabin, Tropic of Cancer, The Titanic Verses, Madame Bovary, Howl and Other Poems, Huckleberry Finn, Lady Chatterley's Lover, 1984, Ulysses, Catch-22, and Tango Makes Three, To Kill a Mockingbird. So it's just a cool cup. It's got like my books I did for the second-hand TBR that I've not really carried on with. And then I've got a picture of my son on the shelf of me at his school assembly near Christmas time. And then I've just got some other little bits. I've got a bus from Malta that Mum and Dad brought me back. I've got a Kylo Ren that my son gave me. A Jar Jar Binks that he gave me. I don't know what, bit of a random orc from 40k. Not sure where the rest of him is. And then I've got this that was my grandma's, a little Buddha, so I'll keep that. And then I've got this cog from Gears of War that my partner gave me when we were together last time around. And then I've got some Lego figures that I collect when I go with my son. Oh, sugar. I've got Jason. He looks like he's got a different face at the back as well. I never noticed that before. Then I've got Michael Myers. I just collect them when he goes in, and because they're £2.50 each, so I just get them then. A Jack Torrance, probably it was my first one of my favourite ones, and then Pennywise from It. I just wanted to collect the Stephen King ones, and then it started being a few more horror ones. And then for some reason I've also got a discharged pin on the thing. It's lost its back, so I did have a bag with loads of badges on and stuff. It's come from that. I did have a couple of books on top, so I'm just going to mention those first before I get into the rest. I have Solarium by Braden Matthew, which I read this year, which I thoroughly enjoyed, but I feel like there was so much to it that I wanted to discuss and understand that I feel like I need to reread it. But I really enjoyed it and would reread it. Probably one of my favourite books this year. Oh, as well, I forgot to mention that. I don't know where the other one's gone. Oh, here. I have 2 deck boxes of Magic the Gathering. I think, I'm not sure what these are, to be honest with you. Oh, that's just a couple of starter decks, and then that's a deck I built. I don't know if it's any good. I don't really get much chance to play Magic the Gathering anymore. So yeah, sorry. So back to the books now. Solarium by Braden Matthews was published by Chrono Samizdat. I'm not sure how I pronounce that. Abandoned Security by Robert S. Stickley, also published by Chrono Samizdat. I've not read this yet. And America and the Cult of the Cactus Boots, a Diagnostic. I've not read this either yet. But there's illustrations in here. And I thought it'd be cool to read, so I've got that. So that's two quite chunky books that could be a good shout for next year. And then I've got Monument by Louis Armand and John Kinsella. I've read Louis Armand, but no John Kinsella. I think I got it because it was reasonably cheap. Sorry, I'm just getting a cup of mocha. I don't want to talk too much about these books if I've not read them. This is The Last House on Needless Street by Katrina Ward. Most of these books will be horror on the top shelf, apart from my Chrono Samizdat books, so that's that. I've not read that yet. I've got Slugs by Sean Hudson, which is just a fun animal attacks book, which I really enjoyed. I want to reread, but I always end up reading loads when I come down to it. Another animal attack, Locust by Guy and Smith. I've also read this, that was quite fun. I've not read this one, I just got it because it was a New English Library. Stephen Law's The Frighteners. What else? I got this from can't remember, it's like a book. They do books per month. The Abominable Book Club, I think it was. The Green Man of Eschwood Hall. I've not read that yet, but I love the green of it. I think that's really cool. I feel like I'm going to be inundated with books in a minute. What's this? The Keep by F. Paul Wilson. I'm not sure about this. I know it's a part of a series, but I've not read this to carry on with the series yet. Ramsey Campbell, The Wise Friend. I got that from the animal sanctuary that we go to occasionally. But it was just great because it was Ramsey Campbell. I did have a Ramsey Campbell called Parasite that I got rid of. I regret getting rid of that now because it's probably dear to find or rare to find. Next up, I've got another New English Library, Night of the Living Dead I think it's by John Russell. Yeah, John Russell. I've read this as well. This was quite a cool book to read. It's only thin as well. Like a lot of horrors are, really. Some of them are, anyway. The Ritual. Sorry, not The Ritual, just Ritual by Graham Masterton. Don't really know much about Masterton. Haven't read Graham Masterton before. But I thought that was a cool cover. And again, I think it's not New English Library, Sphere. So, yeah. Sounds interesting anyway. And then what I wanted to read this year, but I didn't get to it. The Case Book of Kanaki the Ghost Finder. I think it's just short stories which sound really cool. I just didn't get to it for some reason. Ronald Maffei, 4 novellas, ghostwritten. Books Can Be Deadly. Again, that's from the Abominable Book Club. They had a deal or something, £10 and you get a couple of books or whatever. So I did that. And then Clive Barker, The Damnation Game. I'm still reading Books of Blood yet, so I've not got to that. Because I did ask somebody, how do you read Clive Barker? And they said, read his Books of Blood first. But I think I only had 4 to 6. So I've got the 6th book of horror stories selected by Herbert Van Thal. I've not read this either, but I love that cover. It's pretty cool. I'm feeling like these ones I'm finding, like this and Kanaki the Ghost Finder, are like, oh, I could read that this October. Another Animal Attacks. This is a bear this time, Grizzly. I think this is Will Collins. So it's a novella. Novella. That's not the right word I'm looking for. It's a novelisation of the film, but I thought it was a fun read. What else have we got? again, another one I picked up just because it was New English Library. Witch of the White House. I don't mind putting that there. I'm trying to build a collection of what I fancy reading. So let's just take those off so I know where I'm up to. Right. So, next up we've got some Goosebumps books. Let's see. Let's put them in order. Number order. So, these are the covers I had when I was a kid. Excuse me. So I wanted to carry on with this. I wanted to collect these covers. For that reason. So I've got Welcome to Deadhouse, which I've read, which I really enjoyed. It just took me back to nostalgia. The next one I've got to read is Stay, Cheese and Die, which is number 2. Which I've got to read next. And then I've got 4, but I think I can't remember what number 3 is. Stay Out of the Basement. So I need number 3 because I want to read them in order, because if there's like, I don't know, Say Cheese and Die again, then I want to read Say Cheese and Die first. So that is The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, number 4. Let's Get Invisible is number 6, so I need number 5 as well. And then The Night of the Living Dummy, which is number 7. So I'm going to try and pick up number 3 once I read number 2, but so far I've picked out 3 books to put on my possible short story collections reads for this year. Another one for that would be The Best Horror of the Year, Volume 2 by Ellen Datlow. This looks like a cool cover. I picked this up in a charity shop for 99p. Thought I can't leave it behind for a collection. Clive Barker's Books of Blood. These are awesome. I'd highly recommend if you want to get into horror, because they're all just short stories, but if you get this, there's 3 collections of short stories in the one book. I got this one. I think I bought this online because I got 4 to 6 in a charity shop. So, but I'm reading 4 to 6 now. I got this, Richard Matheson. I think I got this, looking at the sticker on the cover, I got this in a bookshop for I Am Legend it is. I think I got it for a £1. So yeah, read Richard Matheson, quite enjoyed. I read this on holiday, I think. Really enjoyed it. Another one I've got, because it looked like a horror, The Blood Snarl by Ivor Watkins. Not read this yet. It's got a special buy ticket sticker on it. I've never seen that. I don't know whether that's American or not. I don't know why I'm putting them up there. I'm losing what I'm doing. Whoa. That's why I'm putting them up there, because that stack's going to fall on me. Okay, let's keep going. There's got quite a lot I want to talk about. H.P. Lovecraft, At the Mountains of Madness. I do try and read this every year, but I'm trying to focus more on books I haven't read, so I've not read this year yet. And another recent read, well, this was a recent read this year, so we went to a book event or something like that. Or we just went into Waterstones and I was looking. It might have been before, I think it was before a gig. Yes, it was before we were watching Gabrielle. So I picked up The Fisherman because it was a tenner. And it was like £9 on Amazon. So I picked up The Fisherman. I quite enjoyed it, but I feel like I want to reread it. Because I don't think it was what I expected from the novel. So I think I need to reread it, because now I've read it, I can adjust my expectations of it. I've got Peter Straub, Coco. This looks quite a thick one, but Peter Straub's supposed to be a good writer. I've never read him, so I can't confirm nor deny. What's up here now? Let's Talk of Graves. I think I saw this on Redbeard and Vinyl. He's a horror channel that talks about music and horror books, and he has... I'd love to go around and look at his shelves, because he has so many cool horror books. He has a lot of New English Library, Futura, stuff like that. But this is Let's Talk of Graves. This looks quite interesting, but I think this might be a slightly older collection. Yeah, it's got like things like James Sheridan Lee Fanu, Anthony Gittins, M.R. James, Ambrose Bierce, Bram Stoker, Oliver Onions, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Edgar Allan Poe. So it's quite an older collection of short stories, but it looks interesting. Another 2 Graham Masterton ones now. I think they've both got really cool covers. They're both Sphere editions. This is called Tengu. I think that guy looks creepy as hell. Anything. That's quite disturbing, really, looking at that. So that's that. And then we've also got Mirror by Graham Masterton. I don't know if I've picked these Graham Masterton ones up, but I must have picked them up from somewhere. And then I've got The King in Yellow by Robert W. Chambers. I think this is possibly in public domain. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I have a feeling it is. No, it says it was first published in 2010. It wasn't first published in 2010. I think it was only £5 for this, so I got it brand new. I've not read it yet, but yeah, it's only a short one. And then we've got Judith Kelman, Primeval. I'm not quite sure why I ended up with this one either. I think it's just because of the cover. It looks quite horror looking. So I do have quite a lot of horror books. I didn't actually realise. And then the ones behind are things like James Herbert, Sean Hudson, a lot of Richard Lehman to go through as well. So I've got Pine, which is kind of like, it was like a Scottish horror book, but quite interesting. I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for. A bit, I don't know, a bit like, what's the word I'm looking for? A bit like, not atmospheric, a bit like folklore horror. But it was really interesting. I really like the French flaps on it, and that's pretty cool. So yeah, I have read this, but I feel like, again, this one's a reread, and possibly, I think, if I ever go to Scotland again, I think this one I'd probably take with me, because I think you get all the vibes from that. So I've not got many left now, because this is just going to be book one, because I don't really want them being longer than half an hour, really, and I'll have less little bits to show on the other shelves, because all the other shelves are stacked more with books. But I've got a trilogy here that I've not read that's, well, I've not read because they look like pretty thick books, but they're supposed to be good. I picked two up in a charity shop, 4 for £1, the 12 and the Passage. I'm not sure the order, and then that's the City of the Mirrors, I think it's the third one. Yeah, the Passage. So the Passage is first, then the 12, and then City of the City of Mirrors. It does kind of annoy me that they look pretty cool covers together, and then that one's different, but I'm not too precious about that. I've got three copies, 3 books I can read, and then the rest are all, let me see, yeah, all the rest are Corona Sounding Stat books, so I put them on my top shelf because I didn't know where else to put them. Excuse the slurp, I'm just... so this one's called Year of the Plague Rat by Randall Young. I've only read Solarium yet. I've got Assisted Living to read that I want to get to. And then I've got Over the Rainbow Hardly by Chandler Brassard. I've got Adriatic Deserter and Cranberger with Monkey, which are both by Rick Harsh, who is the owner and publisher at the press, and really down-to-earth, cool guy. Then I've got Wailing Madness, Shame and Death by W. Gavin. I do feel bad that I've not read a lot of these books, but I went through a stage of picking them up. Across My Big Brass Bed by Gary Amdahl. And then I've got a few more, so I'll just pull these out. And then, like I say, I'll do the back of the shelves another time, because there's a lot to talk about. So this one I really want to read sooner rather than later, and it's annoying me that I haven't, because this guy's on YouTube as well. It's Death of the Author in Triplicate by Mark Nash. Mark Nash has his own channel on YouTube. Sorry, I just wanted to check something. Right, okay. So, there's one I'm not going to be able to read, but I'll show you that in a minute. So this is Stories by Debden Roy, Superior at 50. So this is like, I think this is short stories from what I remember. Yeah. There's like 12 stories in here. So that's pretty cool. And then Bedraggling Grandma with Russian Snow by Joe Reese. And then Someday We Will Look Back on This and Laugh by Tim Conley. And then finally, one I can't read because I didn't realise it was in... Not sure what language it's in. But it's in... I think it's in... maybe Portuguese or Spanish maybe. But it's Entre Lunas by Aldolfo Villafuerte. So I can't read that one, unfortunately, but I didn't know that at the time, but I think it's still cool to have. So yeah, that's half of that's part one of my book tour. We'll film some more another day. Well, hope you enjoyed what you've seen. If you've got any recommendations of books I should read sooner rather than later, let me know. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.